Hello friend, this is ramkumarkushwaha and welcome back to my channel DevOps Architect. So today we will understand the basic Git commands. So let's move on to my desktop screen so that we will understand that concept easily. So in this video we will understand what is the use cases of the GitHub and how to use the Git commands and how the Git related things are working. So that things we will learn today. So let's move on to my desktop screen. Now we will understand the basic concept of that Git related. Then we will go for the Git related command. So let's understand that basic concept. So suppose here is the github.com. We are giving the name of here github.com git. Okay, and on the github.com we are creating the distributed repository. We are giving the name the my website. Okay, and so what is the use of that Git and the GitHub? So GitHub provide the centralized repository in that the multiple developer can push their code. Suppose my website is a very big project and for this website multiple developers are required from the different locations also. So the multiple developer can work on that project and they can push their code from any part of the world. So how they are as like suppose here are the developers from the location 1, location 2 and location 3, location 4. The developers can push their code in the centralized repository. Okay, likewise they can so one benefit we can say from the multiple location the developer can push their code for the centralized repository. So we can get the code at one place. Okay, and that will help to develop the website in the short time or in the easy manner we can say. So the different developers can work on the same topic even or for the different topics or functionality we can say. So that is the one benefit. And further as like we have the web server here and that is connected with that github.com. So further we will understand how the web server is connected. Okay, so that is the web server we can say. So any developers can push their code in the centralized repository and so once the as like the functionality is completed, then by using the CI/CD pipeline we can push the code in the web server, so that using the domain name or the IP address we can access that website. So we will go further. So how the developers can write the code and how the developers can push their code and how to commit that code. So that Git can provide that kind of functionality we can say. So one more thing here is like the developers, whatever the code is written by the developers. So for a big project we cannot track who write that code, and if the issue came then one more functionality we can say as like this is the big website and the code is very big, and the Git provide the functionality to track that code as like the developer one write the code a section of the code, and because of that if the error came in the future then we can track that who write that code, on what time they write the code. So that kind of functionality Git also they provide. And whatever the centralized repository we have the distributed repository my website, every developer have the clone of that website. So the code loss will not happen because of this functionality of the Git. So I think So for the beginners, what we can say, this is the centralized repository or the distributed repository, my website, and we have created on the github.com. On different platform we can also create the distributed repository. So on this distributed repository, the multiple developers are working. So they can be at the same location and they can be the different locations, but they can push the code in the centralized repository. So that is the main use of that, we can say. And one more thing, that tracking functionality. Tracking means if the developer code write a section of the code, then we can track that code, who write that code. Here we can say the DevOps engineer role came here. DevOps. Here the DevOps engineer role came, and he can identify who write that code and on what time he push the code. So for the DevOps related things, we need to understand the basic of the Git also. So that's why we are learning that concept also, so that we can figure out the errors in future. And one more concept I will give you here. So we will use the different terminology here. So working directory, staging area, local repository, and the remote directory, we can say, remote repository, we can say. So what are these things? What is the working directory? Suppose a developer working on that my website project, which we have created on the github.com, and he first of all he need to create a repository on his system. We can say that project folder, we can say. So that folder we will say the working directory. And what is the staging area? So staging area, we will understand that later, because first of all, before we will understand the local repository. So what is the local repository? If the working directory has the functionality of the Git, then we call that that directory is the local repository of the Git. So as like working directory, we can say any folder name, we can say the on where we are writing the code, the developer is writing the code, so that will call the working directory. If we are using in that folder on the terminal, we will use the git init command, then that directory converted into the local repository, local Git repository. So in that, the everything whatever we are writing, that should be trackable. Okay, so now comes on that, if in the working directory, if we run the command git add command, that command we will run, then the staging area comes in the picture. So whatever we have, like in the directory, in the working directory, we created a one file as like the test file1.txt. Then we are using the git add command, because in the working directory we need to track everything, whatever we are writing that code. So it should be trackable, so that we can push whatever we are writing, we can push that code in the remote directory, and it should be trackable. So in the simple way, what we can say, if in the working directory we are adding the file1.txt, and after that we are running the command git add, then that file comes in the staging area. And if we use the git commit command, then it comes in the local repository, local Git repository. So if we use the git push command, then it will goes into the GitHub. We need to understand that one. We will understand that part in the later videos, so that because it's a beginner video, so that it should be the easy thing. if you seriously want to learn the Git related thing, then practice with me. If you have any query, then if you face any problem, then you can comment below. I will try to resolve that things as soon as possible. I will reply on that. Okay. So what you have to do, first open the github.com. github.com. Okay, so click on that and you will sign up by using giving your email ID, password and the username. After that you can continue. So I have already created that. Okay, so I will use my account. So here I am going in my account. Okay, so here you will see I have created the 28 repository. Okay, so on that project I am working from the 2017, and so for the practice related things I am creating the new repository here, that is the distributed repository we can say. So as earlier I have given the name my website, so I'm giving the same name here, my website. So for the Git related practice, we can give any as like for any description we can give as per our need. Okay, it should be the public. You can make the private repository. So in the private you can only see that repository, and in the public you can that directory and that repository will be the public. Okay, so if you are working on a personal project, then you have to create the private repository. If you are working on a public project, then you can create on the public repository. Okay, so creating, this is the link for our repository. So I'm copying that link and copying in the notepad. Okay, for my reference. And for you can also copy that things in the notepad file, and you can copy this command also. Okay, that all these commands for your future reference. And from here also you can copy this command. Okay, now for the simplest way we are just taking that things. Okay, we have copied that, and in our folder, as like I have created a DevOps folder. In the DevOps I am we have already installed the Git in our system, so you can see the OpenGit GUI or OpenGit base here. Okay, so likewise I'm clicking on the Git base here. Okay, so this is the Git cell we can say. So what we have to do, git clone. So here you can see the cloning my website. So here see that folder key, whatever the same repository we have created on the github.com. So that repository, if you see in the normal way, that is a simple folder. So what is the difference between the Git repository and the simple folder? This is the Git repository. So how we will say? So here this is not the empty folder. This is empty folder. It is coming, but it is not the empty. I will show you. Hidden item. Now you see the Git folder came. In that folder all these tracking related settings are there. This is provided by the Git. So now I think you understand. this is the Git repository. If we say this is the repository, the DevOps is the Git repository or not, so it is not. See, we'll go in the view, in the hidden file section. We already checked. So the Git folder should come, the .git folder should come, but in the DevOps folder it is not available. So that is, we can say this is the workspace. This is the workspace, we can say. And in this folder we have the three sections. In this folder we have the three. Okay, so now understand that that part. So here we have cloned that my website folder, my website repository, we can say. So this this repository, we can say, this project has three areas. One is the workspace. Second one is the staging area, and the third one is the local Git repository. Okay, so here this is the workspace. Okay, and this one is the staging area, and this is the local gitrepo. Okay, so how they will work, we have already explained that in the earlier. Now I think basic concept of the Git related things are clear, and as like the what is the workspace, and what is the staging area, and what is the local Git repository, and what is the distributed Git repository or the remote repository likewise. So all things are clear right now, and in the coming video, in the next video, we will learn the Git command practically. Okay. If you understand this topic, then like this video, and if you have any query and suggestion, then comment below, and if you are new on my channel, then subscribe it. Thank you so much for watching.